If there is one scene I never want to see in a movie again, it's 1. Local police and FBI fighting over whose jurisdiction it is, and 2. The late night office dinner where the man and woman are eating Chinese out of boxes. Reddit. What movie scenes are you sick of seeing? Protagonist shoots his gun. Gun empty. Throws gun away. This gun is ruined. Movies where the alien werewolf creature eviscerates all of its victims, then merely backhands the hero. Bill. AWW. Forget it. I'm going inside. Greg. What did you just say? Bill. I'm going inside. Greg. No. Before that. Bill. Forget it. Greg. Bill. You're brilliant. Bill. Why? Greg. All I have to do is defrunk the partibulator with a quasi-semiferous spring, and I can stop the virus. Bill. You're genius. Bill. Smiles, as everybody congratulates him. You're genius, that freaking line. A supposed genius of strategy deduction goes by a chessboard, moves a piece and says checkmate while those present are left gaping, the one sitting at the board being the most amazed person at a checkmate in one. Totally. Someone else tells the genius they have to go somewhere, so he gets up and checkmates before leaving. That guy in every war movie ever who shows a photo of his sweetheart back home. We all know what will happen to him. IT's are obvious. Him and the guy with the Bible, they're always fricked. The unreasonably smart and deep child who gives knowledge to an adult. Child characters are generally terrible in media with a mostly adult cast. Every single thing that you can do to a kid to give them character makes them a snarky butthole. Furious typing on a keyboard and beep boop sounds from the computer equals every problem solved ever. A detective can only solve the case if they're suspended. The mayor is all over my butt on this one. Guy being questioned by homicide detectives who is way too busy moving boxes to stop and talk to them. Look man, my boss is gonna have my butt if he finds out I was aiding in a murder investigation instead of restocking this toilet tissue. A long in-depth conversation between a male and female character that slowly becomes more romantic until they are about to kiss, and then the third character in their party yells from off screen and they run to their rescue. My other least favorite about the Chinese food boxes. Why are there always like 8 boxes on the table? Why did 2 people just order $40 worth of Chinese food? Roger Ebert has said that Chinese food only appears in movies in 2 situations. Situation 1. A crew of acquaintances is eating Chinese food out of boxes while staying up late to work on an important project. This project will be a success. Situation 2. A couple is eating Chinese food in bed late at night. Post-coital. This relationship will not be a success. When one character gets mad at another one for doing something. 1. Stupid. 2. Unfaithful. 3. Against their wishes. Because the other character just happened to walk just at the right moment, and they run away all sad. Then the guilty character, instead of explaining exactly what happened, they'll just spend the rest of the movie trying to get the other person back with acts of romance, or some other mushy crap. Do I have to jump in the TV and tell you people what happened? Is honesty so dead that you don't even want to try to explain what happened? Well, even if they do, the other person is always irrational no matter what the excuse is. A dangerous villain is chasing me and I'm unarmed and helpless. Let me run upstairs, or in another secluded and impossible to escape from area. Destroying one mother alien ship destroys all remaining alien ships. The villain appears to be dead. Protagonist turns to walk off into the sunset. Villain somehow becomes undead for one last shot. Dude, just shoot the crap out of him to make the guy really dead. I think The Wire has a good take on that first scene. 1713 Eastern European women, likely smuggled to be part of the flesh trade, are found dead in a shipping container in the port of Baltimore. The brass of the Baltimore City Police Department and the Maryland State Police try to say the women died in the other's jurisdiction, because neither wants his department to take the investigation and elevate the murder rate, lower the solved percentage, and lose money and time in a probably hopeless case. So instead of trying to out-alpha each other, both are saying frick no, that didn't happen on my side of the line. You solve it. I think it is much illuminating on the reality of policing than that other bulls. That was one of my favorite parts about the show. Another was when the officers were trying to reassign some borderline cases as misdemeanors to lower the felony rate. The protagonist and several other characters are in a predicament. It's about 2/3 of the way through the film and things look hopeless. Somebody needs to do something. Protagonist: hey everyone, I have come up with a crazy and brilliant idea to save us. Everybody else, okay, let's do it. Cynical guy: you're out of your mind. Protagonist: you need to trust me. Cynical guy: I don't trust nobody. Protagonist: my plan won't work without you. Cynical guy: you don't understand. Nothing will save us. It isn't even worth trying. Protagonist: I think maybe it is, though. Cynical guy: you're wasting your time. We'll never succeed. We should just sit here and die. Protagonist: you're right. We won't succeed. Not without you. Cynical guy: I'm sorry. I can't do it. I've seen too much to have any hope. Protagonist: I really need you to participate. Cynical guy: number. Protagonist: seriously, please participate. Cynical guy: okay, fine. Good chance cynical guy dies just as the plan is starting to work. Cynical guy: yes, this is working, we're all going to live. Receives massive terminal injury. Which wire do I cut? The red wire or the blue wire? We're running out of time. Also, I'm not a fan of disarming the bomb just as the timer hits 0:01. Surely some of these bombs get defused with 9 seconds left, or 5. Just give me a 5 sometime. The only exception I've seen was in a James Bond movie where he disarmed the bomb with 0:07 left. Not really a scene, but I hate that more recent trailers always have that cutting to black every 2 seconds, as well as that loud noise with the cutting to black. It's like half of the trailer is a black screen. Why are people running? Why are building falling down? Why are explosions? Every movie since Inception. A few. The angry unreasonable police chief. The girl who gets angry and runs away from an important conversation just before hearing the truth. And the wimpy guy who just won't blurt out the truth as she's leaving. The wise old black woman who saves the rich white kid's family, cause that explode at the end of a chase. Bad guys waiting to kill the good guy until after they've explained their plans. A guy rushing to the airport in a car full of people to stop the love of his life from leaving. I want to see this play out realistically. The guy runs up, tries to go through security, gets tackled by TSA agents, tries to explain that the love of his life is about to board a plane to London and he needs to stop her. This is where the security agent is supposed to say you go get her, but instead they throw him in a holding room for 5 hours until they can verify his identity. College teens living all free and chic while pop punk music is playing. 9 times out of 10 it's all American rejects, while I have to wait through an entire crappy horror movie to watch them die. How long have you been standing there? Long enough runs out crying. Comma long enough to completely misunderstand what is really going on. Runs out crying. FTFY. Smart CNC guy. I have an idea. We can hook the defluxinator to the medulla automaton to generate an photon shield that will intercept the enemy projectiles. Leader who has more brawn than brains. Can you say that in English please? Science guy. We can use parts of this ship to create a force field that will stop the missiles from killing us. Leader. Well, why didn't you say so? Go team go. 2 people meet for lunch. Something happens. One or both leaves without touching their meal. Absolute torture when I'm hungry and there's nothing to eat. I don't like where the guy pisses the girl off and she runs away while the guy stands there like, Cindy, wait, but Cindy doesn't wait. This seems to come up a lot in recent movies. The bad guy is captured and brought to a jail cell, generally a very advanced one, where he has a brief conversation that adds little depth to his character and is then able to escape because being captured was part of his plan all along. It has been so worn out and predictable by now that it just needs to stop. I completely agree with you on the Chinese takeout scene BTW. Hopefully you can exclude law-abiding citizen. He literally planned to be captured and sent to a specific jail cell to continue his murderous plot. Comic relief black guy stumbles around ineptly throughout the movie, then during a major action scene accidentally kills a bunch of bad guys. At this point, CRBG always says, "That's what I'm talking about." Interchangeable completely with scrawny, nerdy white guy comic relief character. Only instead of "that's what I'm talking about," he makes references to how this is like some video game movie. Hacking scenes. The type where they are able to penetrate any CIA classified files by hitting Ctrl+Alt+Delete. Especially when they're just staring at fancy polyhedrons and stuff spinning around on the screen. That's not what hacking looks like. I'm looking at you, Skyfall. We have off the charts chemistry with each other, but we work together or someone might be offended if we dated, so we'll just drag out the tension forever, pretending not to care when the other person dates, etc. Happens more in TV shows. Only watch the first couple seasons of Bones because this bugged me so much. I just picture them needlessly lonely in the evenings, wasting their lives. Most recent offender, Better Off Ted. X-Files was bad too. Warehouse 13 as well. Actually, I'm noticing a more specific trend of detective-like partners who love each other but can't show it now. But sometimes happens in real life, so it's not so unrealistic. I am the villain, therefore I must shoot one, or more, of my henchmen to show how evil I actually am. Preferably with a semi-witty line beforehand. Shoots henchman. You just don't get it, do you? We're the same, you and I. Angry. Black police captain shouting you want 48 hours. You got 24 and then slamming the wooden office door. Also later in the film, I need your badge and gun. Then the hero goes and solves the case on his own, or with an oddball civilian sidekick. I need your badge and gun. Then the hero goes and solves the case on his own, and the fact that they end up shooting people, stealing cars, racking up a massive body count, but are not subject to an internal investigation, fired, jailed afterwards. They face absolutely no repercussions for their actions. Instead they get praised, promoted. Bad guy gets shot, hurt, and everyone thinks the danger is over. Everyone starts hugging or somehow drops their guard. The bad guy slowly reaches over and grabs his gun to make one more final shot at his enemy. The good guy is about to get shot, but the secondary hero manages to finish off the bad guy right in time. When people break up in the middle of dinner at a fancy restaurant. Fun fact, I am a waitress and one of my tables did that the other night. It looks just like it does in the movies, only more uncomfortable for everyone involved. White lady who unlocks the potential of inner city minority kids. Somehow they wind up dancing and white lady is dancing very awkwardly like she down with the streets or something. In any sports movie, the final game match is to be really close. Just once I'd like to see a blowout, just to change things up a bit, like Toon Squad 110, Monsters 78. Enhance. This still image from a video stream. It's the best when the tech guy enhances the photo by clicking randomly on his/her keyboard without ever touching the mouse. Lords of the shortcut keys, I guess. When the cops go into the medical examiner's office and there's a body on the slab and the ME's always eating something over the body. Because, dude, he's seen it all. It doesn't even faze him. He's seen so much he is now immune to hospital regulations. Girls running and falling. Strong black woman needs no man. Tom Cruise running. Strong black woman needs no man, unless he is a light-skinned gardener. Not a scene as much as a way of shooting something. I am entirely sick of a camera cutting to an alarm clock and the actor fumbling with the snooze button. Just about every fight scene where good guy starts off strong has a very weak mid-game where they almost lose, then suddenly get a burst of power and finish off the fight. I'd group in this category when the good guy easily destroys an army of men, nearly all at once, and then goes through your scenario with the boss. You can blame the FBI thing in Die Hard, because they freaking nailed it. I think I will keep this list of super secret embedded secret agents on this disk here. It's very important, and all of our diplomatic relations depend on it staying super secret. Moments later. Fuuuuak. More on TV than in movies, but I can't stand when, in a high school, there's an unreasonable amount of timing between classes and or students who don't go to class until after the bell rings and say I've got to get to class, as if being a few minutes late is no big deal as long as they're not too late. or if they were having an emotional conversation. What? That takes at least 24 hours. It's impossible by now. You have 12 hours. Looks around frustrated. Fine. Does it in 12 hours. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.